We said that we're going to have a different type of game against Millwall, a bit more physical.
Yes.
And the big thing that comes to my mind, Dad, 2 words: second ball. We have to be at it at the second ball. Welcome back to BCFC Royal Blue. And on Wednesday evening, Birmingham City head to the Den to take on Millwall, who are currently 3rd in the Championship, and Birmingham City are in 7th. And just to show you how close the Championship is, if we were to get 3 points and beat Millwall, we'd close that gap and only actually be 4 points behind them. So I only say that to show you how close this Championship season is this year. But in this video, we're going to preview the game, talk about the lineups, and of course end it with a score prediction and what we might expect. So Dad, I think we might be the only ones in the country who actually enjoy going to the Den and playing Millwall, but you're looking forward to it still?
Yeah, really, very much so, yeah. We went there a few seasons ago. That season we got relegated and, sorry to bring that up, but we conceded in the 90th minute.
Tanganga, who's now at Sheffield United in 90+3.
Yeah, and at the time as well, we were right next to each other in the league table, so it was a real crunch match and we lost that, didn't we? So, but I do like going to Millwall and they're on really good form. I mean, they lost their last game, but prior to that, they'd only lost 1 in the previous 10, and that was against Coventry. At Coventry, but of course in the last game they lost at home to Portsmouth, which I think was a surprise. Portsmouth seemed to be in an upturn in their form, so they probably wouldn't see it as a surprise. But because you mentioned they're 3rd in the table, Millwall, and I think that would have been a result that they didn't expect.
Yeah, well, as you say, Dad, we go into this off the back of a 2-1 against Norwich away, fantastic 3 points, and surprised me, they lost 3-1 at home to Portsmouth, and in fact they lost 3-1 at Fratton Park as well. So Portsmouth have actually done the double over them this season, which actually surprised me. But again, Dad, you know me, doing my research on the teams, the top tweet in the Millwall area that I can read out, there was a lot of expletives I had to avoid, but the highest ranked I could read was, in both games, Portsmouth were better from top to bottom, start to finish. We didn't deserve anything, no complaints from both games. So clearly a fan base which are accepting that Portsmouth have got the better of them this season. And Alex Neil, Dad, I actually watched his post-match conference and he was basically expressing how difficult the Championship is. And he was talking about actually how that is arguably a little bit of a wake-up call for them going into this kind of like, would you say the final stage of the season? I guess you would, really.
Yeah, you would, yeah.
But to me, Alex Neil, if you actually asked him his honest opinion, I felt like he was seething. I felt like there was a real bit of anger behind that interview. So I've got a feeling the Millwall players have had a bit of a dogged time on the training ground these past few days, Dad. But yeah, 2 teams that go into this off recent form minus their loss, but ultimately we go in there with really good momentum, and they now got a point to prove to their home crowd, haven't they, on Wednesday?
They have, but they're coming up against a Birmingham City team that are in good form, good confidence. We since New Year's Day, out of our 8 games, we've won 5 and drawn 3.
I know.
And won our last 3 games on the road against Sheffield Wednesday, Oxford, and against Norwich. So we'll go there with no fear. But that doesn't stop the fact that this is still a tough game. They're not 3rd for no reason. They're clearly a team that's on the rise. Let's say that's a term that we know quite well from our club. And solid team. And I think over what I like about Millwall, they build, steadily. There's no absolute superstars in that team, but you look for there's some good players in that team. I think some of the social media I saw after the Portsmouth game, I think they weren't overly impressed with the fact that they dropped Kirk Cromcombe in goal and put Anthony Patterson on there. And also, I think Josh Coburn was missing now. I don't know if he's injured, and I should have checked this, but maybe if you're a Millwall fan, let us know about Josh Coburn. Is he injured or was he just dropped for that game? Because he definitely wasn't a team. I think he's their top scorer. But then, like you mentioned, Alex Neil's a very clever manager. He's been around a long time. He knows the league. He knows how to get a team promoted because he did that with Norwich, didn't he? They play the same formation as us, 4-2-3-1. Played that virtually every game. I don't see any reason why that will change, and that's, I'm sure, the system that we will play as well. But both teams go in there, mate. I mean, they've got their home record is very good. They're the 7th best home record in the league. 30 points have amassed at home from 17 games. Even their away record's good. They've got the 5th best away record. But then they're 3rd in the league, aren't they?
Of course.
So
beat Wrexham away fairly recently, I believe. They're 2-0.
Yes, that was a good result because Wrexham are doing very well at the moment, aren't they? They, in terms of goals scored, they don't score loads of goals. I mean, they've scored 42 goals to our 45, but those 42 goals put them about 2/3 down the league table in terms of goals scored. But defensively, they're very good. They've got the 8th best defence in the league, as but they've got conceded the same amount of goals as us, 40. So we're right together in that league table. So once again, it's one of those games that you look at and you think for both, it's an important game for both teams.
100%, yeah.
Because clearly they are wanting to consolidate their playoff position. We're trying to get in there. So
Well, Dad,
interesting.
I said in my intro, if we win this, we only go 4 points behind them, and they're in third.
Yeah.
It just shows how close and intense the Championship can be, isn't it? But for me, this is a different type of game. It's a different type of challenge. And Chris Davies said this in his post-Norwich video, Dad, when he was doing the videos that got on social media. He said that we're going to have a different type of game against Millwall, a bit more physical.
Yes.
And the big thing that comes to my mind, Dad, 2 words, second ball. We have to be at it at the second ball, because I think we've not lost games, but we've lost our shape in games and we've lost our rhythm in games when we lose the ability to mop up the second ball.
Yeah.
I'd even say, Dad, in the second half against Norwich in that fantastic 2-1 win, we sometimes weren't at it with the second ball.
Yeah.
And that is part of the Millwall game. If you don't mop up that second ball, one, psychologically, they'll have it over you because they think they're stronger. They'll bully you. They'll push you around. We can't be having that. We need to be up for this. Physical fighting. This is going to be a nasty game, I think. And I don't mean red cards and 2-footy challenges. It's going to be a different kind of battle. Physical battle and a mental battle.
Yeah.
They'll try and get in our head. They'll try and bully us. They'll try and be physical with us. We're on their patch. No one goes to the den and has a good time, do they? So they're going to be really mopping up that second ball. And that's a real key element to the Millwall game, Dad. They mop up the second ball and boom, they transition off. If you don't mop it up, you have to be really careful. In fact, Dad, someone said online recently, if you kill Millwall's ability to win the second ball, you kill half their game plan.
Yeah, my stats show that as well. In fact, they lead the league in the long ball attempts, so they try and get the ball long a lot. And they've got the average longest goal kicks. What they're doing, their strategy revolves around winning winning the first balls through players like Milano Ivanovic, which is their top scorer at the moment, and then aggressively hunting the second ball, as you've mentioned.
Yep.
That's where. So I think our centre halves are going to be mega important here. Yeah. Particularly because they're going to have a lot of work to do in the air.
And our centre mids, Dad, in the defensive side of the game.
What I like though, Matt, now about us, we have got more height in the team. So prior to January, we didn't really have a huge amount of height in the team. So, but I think Clara and possibly Panzo, who may start this, but we've also got Jack Robinson back now. Of course, we've got Neumann as well. They're all pretty tall. So whoever is picked alongside Clara, because I think Clara's nailed on start as the captain, will need to be very, very alert when they start to bombard us with those high balls, because they will. But that's where their success has been. They, like you mentioned, they try and win that first ball, and then the players are buzzing around trying to get that second ball.
We need to be ready for that, Dad.
We've got to be on that. And it's interesting because obviously we don't talk about this before we do these podcasts, and Matt's picked up the same as me in terms of his research about the way that they're successful. They're very, very high intense pressing as well, which is why they're hunting these second balls. So if we can cut that out, it gives us half a chance to build ourselves. But very interesting in terms of the way that they play. One of the more direct teams for teams near the top of the league. Sometimes you'll find that you don't often get this, and they're not an anomaly because they're a very, very good side.
They are a good
but
side.
They have a different style of football to some of the traditional football playing. That doesn't sound right because that suggests that Millwall don't play football. They do when they get the ball, but they are very direct. A little bit like Wrexham. Wrexham will bombard you with high balls as well, and play a very similar style to that. Very good on counter attacks. They'll cross the ball as often as they can, and also they're really good at protecting the lead. And also, if you look at their results as well, a lot of their games are quite narrow differences. There's a few. I mean, we beat them 4-0 at our place earlier in the season. They lost 4-0 at home to Coventry early in the season. But outside of those results, really, most of the games are a single goal.
Yeah. And again, Dad, it's really interesting because you say we don't talk about this, and a lot of your stuff is genuinely like you've pretty much ticked off 3 of my 5 talking points there in that one little bit. So it's good to know that you're aligned when you do this. So clearly it's showing a consistent pattern of how Millwall play. My only final thing to add is that they are direct, but they are smart. They'll move it quickly. They're composed. And we need to cut out the wide supply as well, because although they go long and they are quite direct, when they go wide, they do get the balls in the box. And with physical players, we have to be wary. And they mix it up. Balls at the far post, balls at the near post, balls in the middle. And again, we have to be prepared for that unpredictability about where that ball's going to go in the centre of the pitch in our own box. And we need to be prepared for that. And I think, cutting off that wide supply. Because I think I don't know whether this is modern football these days, but it really frustrates me because I never used to do it when I was a kid. But I feel like our fullbacks sometimes, and other teams do this as well. It's not just Blues. The wingers are allowed so much time on the ball.
Yeah.
And if you don't cut that supply off, especially as the home team, they're just going to pepper our box. And again, it's just something we need to be wary of, Dad, because they are going to be aggressive. They're going to mop up that second ball. They're going to distribute it quickly wide. They're going to get it in at all costs. And we need to be wary of that. But what I would say, Dad, since the new year, even the last couple of games since Panzo's came in, Clara looks a lot more settled. With Wagner now looks a lot more. We look like a lot more of a compact defensive unit, and that fills me with confidence now. I feel like we can go to most places in this league, in fact, anywhere in this league, and get a result on our day.
We're a different team since January.
We're a different team, yeah.
Since January, and obviously you got the like of Jan Solis, who's really solid in the middle as well. But if you look at their team, just briefly, I know that there was a lot of talk in social media from the Millwall fans about the selection of Anthony Patterson, who was replaced. He replaced Cronkham. A lot of them saying Cronkham's got to be back in goal against us, and also as well, which really surprised me. There was some talk about Femi Aziz. Now he's outstanding. He's their joint top scorer.
Was he the one that scored their goal?
Millwall's
goal
against
Portsmouth. The one goal they did score, was that him?
I don't think it was.
Was
I can't remember. But
good goal.
He didn't play again. He was injured when they played us at St.Andrews.
Right.
But he was their danger man. But there was a few comments about the fact that he basically his passing was off and he didn't want to. But players have bad games. Doesn't make him a bad player. But Ivanovic is the one to watch. He's their out number 9. He's the threat. They've got their back four as well. Caleb Taylor, Jake Cooper, their 2 6s. Alfie Doherty as their left back, Kramer as their right back, and then midfield their 6s are Denor and Mitchell, and then the 2 wingers, and then number 10. So you got Femi Aziz on the right, Watson on the left, and then Negley as their number 10, in feeding into Ivanovic as their number 9. That was the starting lineup against Portsmouth. I think there will be changes because clearly they lost that game and things didn't quite work out for them. But their current top scorers are Femi Aziz and Mikhailo Ivanovic, both on 7 goals. And Femi Aziz has the top assist, joint assists with Theano Ballo, both got 5. Oh, and Alfie Doherty's got 5 as well. So, it's one of these games that if we've obviously highlighted their strengths. I think that's what Chris Davis is now going to focus on. So he'll set up his game plan to try and counter that. But you know what? We're going to the team 3rd in the league here. Mm-hmm. This is one of those games that you want. But it's a massive game for both teams now.
It's a big game.
And the fact that they lost against Portsmouth as well. I mean, this is going to be it's going to sound a little bit sort of cheesy, but really he's going to the Lions' den because they and they're wounded Lions as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
So we need to do what we did against Norwich, have a really fast start, I think, and just be prepared for a lot of aerial.
Well, Dad. That first half an hour against Norwich was absolutely... In fact, her first half, absolutely outstanding. I've not seen us play like that away from home for a long time. Confident. Yeah. And this might fill Blues fans with a bit of confidence. Their 2 biggest vulnerabilities are pacing behind the back through quick transitions in wide areas. Where did all our danger come in that first half an hour against Norwich? It was through pace around the back or pace on the wings that got us through into those dangerous positions. Yeah. When you think about Vicente, Dimmy Gray, passing it through to Prisk with his flick-ons, all their vulnerabilities now play into our strengths since January. And also the high press. They're quite vulnerable to a high press. So would he maybe plump for Stansfield in this one? We're going to discuss our teams in a minute, just off the back of that energy. Who knows? But pacing with the back, quick transitions and a high press, Dad. So let's get at them. Again, not aggressively so where we commit all 11 men forward, but let's get in their faces.
Absolutely. So should we go on to the Blues team then?
Let's do it. Then I'm going to let you go for the 11 and then I'll say mine.
Now, this is dependent upon injuries. And, of course, because we had a game a few days ago, it would have been Saturday, Wednesday. So there's a decent enough gap. There may be some rotation, but this is the team I'd...
Just to piggy on that, we don't play Borough till the following Monday, so we do have 2 extra days buffer from all the other teams.
Yeah, okay. So somebody said to me, and I think in the comments, not to me, but said in the comments, I think we need to make it clear. Sometimes me and you both jump between the players we think Chris Davis will pick and the players we think that we want to pick. So I'm going to make it clear now that this is a team that I want to see.
That's fine.
Okay, and I think maybe that's what your team will be.
Maybe we do that as a rule now moving forward.
So this is a team that I want to see. I think and when I look back at some of our podcasts, I think that's a fair comment that person made.
And also because we go back and forth quite quickly, we could be really confusing people.
Yeah.
So thank you for flagging that. It's a good point.
Yeah, this is a team that I want to see. Beadle in goal, Wagner at left back, Clara and Panzo. I think that Panzo was been great so far, so I think he'll keep his play. Now, I've gone for, again, Brighton Samuel at right back. I've gone for Iwata and Jan Solis in the sixes. Damari Gray on the left, Vicente on the right, and there is an argument for both Osman on the left and also for Patrick Roberts on the right. But I've gone for the team that I want to see. Okay, so I've gone for Damari Gray starting on the left, Vicente on the right, because Vicente was absolutely brilliant, wasn't he against Norwich? This is where I changed a little bit. I have gone for Dutch in the 10 because I think that's pretty much nailed on. But I've gone for Stano in the 9 because interestingly you mentioned that. I mean, now the reason for that is that. I've gone on the assumption that I would like to see Stansford in this game. Priska, I don't know whether we picked up an injury because he went down late against Norwich, and some people were saying there's a possible issue there with him. But I'd like to see Stano because I think in this game, it's the energy, isn't it? You know, the energy we have up front. But it's hard to drop Priska based upon his performance against Norwich. But I'm thinking in my back of my mind that he might be injured. He might be protecting him to make sure he doesn't get something serious. But I would still like to see Stano start this one, I think.
Yeah.
That's my team.
So basically, you've gone for the Norwich team except for Priska for Stansfield. So basically exactly the same as Norwich there.
Yeah,
and I've gone exactly the same. And the reason why I kind of cheekily smiled when I referenced the Stansfield thing there was because I've put him in as well. Because again, I love Priska, and I have made a pretty loud noise of saying he should be our kind of target man, especially away from home, because he gives us a different outlet. I just think when you think about fixture congestion, Norwich, Millwall and Middlesbrough, 3 games, I don't think Blues under Chris Davis have a very good pattern when we have fixture congestion. And I think the reason is because we don't rotate the squad enough.
Yeah.
So I have gone for Stansfield in the 9 as well. But if it isn't quite working and we are struggling to hold the ball up top and the game plan isn't working, I would like to see Prisk come on at half time maybe or early on in the game so we have a different outlet of some kind. But I am going to go for Stansfield off the back of that energy. But even that, Dad, he was cramping up against Leeds, weren't he? I think even, it's great to have squad depth, but Chris Davis and the fitness team at Blues have got a job on their hands just to make sure we're not getting unnecessary injuries here. So exactly the same as you, Dad. Same team as Norwich minus Stansfield in for Prisk up top.
It's also remembering as well that Robinson's back in contention. So is Ethan Laird. But I think for Laird it's too early to put him straight back in the starting lineup. I don't think that'll happen. But Bright's done well. He's done very well. So I think he deserves his place. So I've gone for him. The other options are if ever Chris Davis wanted to change the sixes, like bring in Tommy Doyle, what he'd probably do is put Iwata at right back and stick Doyle in with Solis. But I think I wouldn't change too much based upon the Norwich performance. I think it was the first half in particular warrants not too many changes.
Iwata and Solis make us more combative. And against Millwall, you need someone combative. Yeah. Just even talking out with I don't know whether we do start with Prisk, just because of that physicality that Millwall provide. Yeah. That's why I love doing the podcast. We air it out in the open, don't we, as we talk through it? I don't know. I think for the interest of the conversation, I'll stick with Stansfield. But I am in the back of my mind thinking, do we need a bit more bite? And, Prisk against Norwich, that was absolutely fantastic. I guess it hangs in the balance of his injury as well.
If he is, that's what I'm thinking. I think possibly it will be Stano for this one, but it'll be interesting to see what...
great options.
What others think. Yeah, I know. It is fantastic, isn't it?
My only other question would have been, Dad, Gray on the left, because he's not long coming back from injury, and he did go off around, was it about sort of 60, 70-minute mark against Norwich? Could there be something there? And maybe Osman could start on the left?
I think that was done. I believe that Chris Davis has been very cautious with Damari Gray.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I don't think there was any injury with Damari Gray. I think it was just you've done 70 minutes. Let's not overdo it. Don't want to get you injured. And that's like Osman coming on, It's a great addition to put in there. But I think Gray will start.
Yeah. The fact that, I know we reference this all the time, and pure Blues fans are getting bored of it now. And I was chatting to a guy at Norwich about it as well. The fact that we can swap Vicente for Patrick Roberts and Damari Gray for Osman is just ridiculous.
It's crazy.
It is riches of abundance, isn't it? So what do you call it? Abundance of riches. Almost embarrassment by abundance of riches, something. So, score prediction then, Dad. Let's go for it.
You go first.
Me first. Yeah. So I'm going to go for Millwall 0, Birmingham City 2.
Oh, you're going 2-0.
I've gone confident today.
Okay, I've gone for a double header of what we did against Norwich, so I've gone for the same scoreline: Millwall 1, Birmingham 2.
I thought you were going to say a double header from the previous game: Blues 4, Millwall 0. I was thinking, that really is confident.
Well, I'd love that, but I can't say that not at their place. No. That's another incentive for them, isn't it? They're going to know that we beat them 4-0, so they're going to want to really. They've got everything, they don't need an incentive. They're going for promotion. They were hammered 4-0 at our place. They lost their last game. All the ingredients for them are already there. I don't think Alex Neil will need to motivate them. But for us, it's become important because now we've suddenly give ourselves an opportunity here. And for us, it's about picking points up. At the end of the day, here a draw would not be a disaster.
No,
It would not be a disaster. But I think that based upon our performance against Norwich and the team and the players we have now, I think this is a winnable game.
No, Dad, I think that's maybe the wrong way of looking at it in terms of wouldn't it be a disaster. I think a point would be a fantastic point, especially now with the 3 points that we got at Norwich.
Yeah.
I just think from what I'm seeing now on the road, we are definitely progressing as a club and moving in the right direction. I mean, that first half was just ridiculous against against Norwich. And in the second half, Dad, we have to channel that grittiness now against Millwall. So my 2-0 comes off the back of what I'm seeing. We're let's enjoy this while we have it. We're a team in form, team that's got some momentum. I'm going to back us to win, Dad. But if we did get a draw and the point, I would take that.
Yeah.
And then we move into Borough for that game. But any final thoughts there before we close the video out?
No, again, it's just a pleasure, isn't it, to do these podcasts at the moment with the form that we're in, the team that we've got, and the way that we're going as a club. And I think our expectations now, and we said this before the Norwich game, are going to be determined by the 3 games. The one we've done and won, thankfully, in a way. I mean, we said Millwall against another tougher and Middlesbrough at home. We thought that after those 3 games, we'd have a better picture about what we're doing and where we're going. So we've made a good start in those 3 games. But this game now has become the next important game. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to going away. We weren't really looking forward to going away before Christmas. I think we're getting beaten every time. But fantastic.
Yeah. And let's wind up every fan base in the EFL. Let's fight with the promotion bus. So, I'm just totally kidding. But as always, Birmingham City supporters, we would love to hear from you. Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And Millwall supporters, we'd love to hear from you as well. Please let us know your thoughts ahead of the game on Wednesday evening. But if you do like this video specifically, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and check us out on our social media channels. We have an X page, we have an Instagram page, and we're also over on Spotify, so you can watch us or listen to us over there. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and press that bell icon and you'll get notified every time we post a video. And we'll see you on the next one, all about Birmingham City.